more content, more posts, more platforms, more. How does that make you feel? Totally overwhelmed? Oh my gosh, that is not the answer. Hey, like we are women in midlife, and what we need to actually do is to nurture our nervous systems. And we want to lower cortisol, not feel exhausted because we have to be everywhere doing everything and posting more. This is what I see a lot of the time. Women think that they need to just post more. And there certainly is something to be said with consistency of posting. That's really important. That's a training for another day. But more posting is not the answer. It's just going to exhaust you. More posts don't fix the holes in the customer journey that you might have. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 mistakes that you might be making on your social profiles, things that you might just be missing. They mean a lot, and it could be the difference between you like not getting sales and you getting sales, or securing that new client or bringing in those new customers. I've also, as usual, created a free tool for you. This week's is called the Business Visibility Audit. Hey, I'm Christine Burke. Welcome back to this week's video. And I'm here to lead and mentor experienced business women to grow purpose-led businesses with more wisdom, more authority, and more stewardship, because I believe that our lived experience is our greatest authority. So if you're new here, welcome. Every week I get on here and I share practical tips around leadership, around social media strategy, and really what I really want to do is help you strengthen your visibility, your authority, and build a business that's purpose-led from him for you. So today we're diving into these 3 mistakes, okay, that I see business owners making. And in the end, I'm going to give you a action step and your free resource. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and let's dive in. Okay, mistake number 1 is people don't actually understand what you do. And maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, people know what I do. But if I were to land on your profile as somebody who doesn't know you at all, I don't live in your neighborhood, I don't live in your town, I haven't met you at a networking event, and I land on your profile and I can't figure out within 10 seconds what it is you do, then you're losing leads. Okay. And so when someone lands on your profile, I should know, you know, pretty quickly the answer to these 3 questions. What is the problem you solve? Who do you solve it for? And why I should dang listen to you. Okay. And by the way, I do a deep dive in this in some of my other training. I'll put a video below for you to follow along. But this is something that stumps a lot of people. And so when I say why people should listen to you, that doesn't necessarily mean more letters beside your name or a new certification or a new something. Okay? Sure, you're in a business space that's has legal attached to it or is medical in some way, absolutely. But 99% of women on here have enough lived experience to have that as their authority, as their credibility, their street cred. So clever headlines, be careful with that. There's a lot of AI generated language going around, right? It still needs to be very clear on what it actually is. Okay. A lot of people have clever headlines, but they're not actually saying anything. Okay. Some businesses already assume people know them and what they do. And this might be you. Maybe you're in a small town or a community and you're like, yeah, everybody knows me, right? Everybody knows me and what I do. Everybody knows my local business. Again, if someone were to go to your profile on Facebook, for example, which is free, if you are not leveraging that as real estate, then you are losing leads. Okay. Industry jargon is another one. So don't assume that people understand. Don't assume that people understand when you're talking about energy work or meditation or something like that, right? It has to be in clean language so that people understand. And then the last one is around trying to appease or trying to appeal, not appease, appeal to everyone. That is not what we're here to do. Okay. In fact, some of our content should repel people, and that's a good thing. Not be nasty to people, but repel people. And so trying to appeal to everyone is a big mistake. Okay. And so all of these things that I'm talking about here are involved with, again, your cover photo, your profile photo, what you have in your bio, your highlights, and the first 5 to 7 posts that someone's going to see as they're scrolling. Okay. That's around about what people do. Just think about it. You land on someone's profile, scroll, 2, 3, you get the idea. So, example, I help women build confidence. Great. I love that. I mean, I spoke that kind of language for a really long time. Compare that to I help Christian women over 50 turn their lived experience into purpose led business. Very specific. Can you see that big difference? And it's okay because the latter, there are plenty of women, in fact, millions who fall into that category, right? We don't need to speak to everyone. Okay, remember, confused people do not buy, and people generally make decisions on whether they want to, follow you more or ingest more of your content or work with you or start checking you out. They make that pretty fast. Okay, social media is a fast place right now. People are busy, they're scrolling, they're doing laundry, all kinds of things, right? Just remember those 2 things. So, action step, go and look at your own Facebook profile, for example. Look at the bio as if you'd never seen it before. Try and be objective and then ask yourself, would you know what you offer? Would you know what you do? Okay. And that's a really good way to start analyzing your stuff. Sometimes we need to actually get out from inside of our business and step away and actually work on our business. Okay, mistake number 2 is you're making it too hard for people to take the next step with you. Okay. And so people discover you, they land on a social page, then what? Okay. How easily can they book with you? How easily can they buy from you? How easily can they contact you? How easily can they download something? How easily can they join a list off of socials? Or are they left just wondering, where to go and what to do? Because if it's not easy, then they're probably going to be gone as a lead because things have to be really easy for people. So, for example, for me on my Facebook profile, for example, there's a link right there that says start here, and people go into my vault and they're able to access dozens of free resources that are tailored for them, right? These resources that I create in the resource vault are not for everybody. They're for you. They're for midlife woman over 50 who's got a business, who's transitioning or pivoting or looking to align with her greatest calling and faith. That's her. And so the resources are for her. They're free. So it's a simple way for her to opt in. And then now she is on an email list. So she's off of socials and I can nurture her through an email list and she can find out about my other offers, the free masterclass I'm running on July 20th. You can get into that below. The link is in the description. And then she has the opportunity to get to know me and then ultimately will buy from me. So each step leads to a greater level of trust and it has to be seamless. Interest without direction, it rarely becomes action. And just remember that if you don't capture your leads, they're not yours, right? Nobody owns anybody, but you know what I'm saying? They don't belong to you if you don't capture them off of social media. So action step here, ask someone who doesn't know your business to visit your Facebook page or maybe even your website and ask them to tell you where do they get stuck, right? If you do have some sort of free offer, ask mistake them number 3, you're chasing followers instead of building relationships. This is the missing middle that I was talking about a minute ago. And so most people aren't going to buy. Okay, we talked about that the first time that they discover you, right? The greatest percentage of people need to get to know you. And it's this space between them not knowing you and them being ready to buy. Okay. And so how we actually do this is not only creating conversations, like conversations are really important. So some people are like, oh, I don't like Facebook Messenger and blah, blah, blah. But that is where the greatest number of your sales, that's where the greatest number of my sales comes from, through conversations and getting on calls with people. Okay. Sacrificing your time to actually take time to connect with somebody in a real way. Okay, that will never go out of style. I don't care like how much AI comes upon us, but being a human and having human to human interaction and helping people, giving people value without any expectation in return is the greatest thing that you can do as a business owner and an entrepreneur. Okay. Email lists, really important. Lead magnets, I talked about that. If you don't know what a lead magnet is, it's simply something that's magnetic for that person that you are trying to help. You know, you know, the top 3 secrets to getting rid of acne, right? Like if you have acne and you're a 16-year-old girl, it's like, damn, that's what I need, right? That's an opt-in because you've now captured that person as a lead. Newsletters, maybe you've got a weekly newsletter that you go out, that you put out. Blogs are great also. Creating communities on or off of Facebook and staying connected beyond social media. This is what I'm talking about. Relationships, calls, networking groups, just meeting people, being human. And so if Facebook or Instagram or both, because they're both owned by the same company, if they disappeared tomorrow, could you still contact people? Do you still have a way of nurturing your leads, of staying in touch with them? So followers are borrowed. It's a borrowed audience, right? Relationships are built based on your lists that you own and what you do in terms of connecting with people. So action step here would be just think of how many conversations, like real conversations, you have with people. So if somebody lands on one of your socials, do you start a conversation? By land, I mean likes a post, checks out your story, comments. Do you actually reach out to that person? Do you actually go and look at their profile? What are they all about? Maybe they just had a birthday. Maybe they just had a baby, right? Like people want to be seen. Women want to be seen. So ask yourself, how are you nurturing conversations through your socials and as a part of your business every day? So I want to know, which mistake do you think you need to work on, or like which mistake are you making? And which one do you think is costing you the most business? 1, 2, or 3? I want to know. Comment below. Don't forget your free business visibility audit that's in the vault. You can get the link below. And hey, if you need some eyeballs on your stuff, maybe you're watching this and you're thinking, oh gosh, I just don't have the pieces all together on my socials. Maybe you need some eyeballs. Maybe you need somebody to check out your blind spots, right? Look at your posting, your messaging, your positioning, your content, right? If that's you, I do offer something called the CEO Alignment Audit. And it's really an effective way for you to have somebody evaluate the stuff, your niche, your avatar, who you're speaking to actually evaluate how much authority you are communicating in your socials, how you are monetizing, or why you might be stuck with sales, and why you might be just misaligned in, again, how you're positioning yourself, your content, and all of it. And so what we do together is ensure that you have clarity in your messaging, clarity in the answers to those 3 questions that I spoke to at the beginning. What is the problem you solve? Who do you solve it for? And why people should listen to you? And this is all done with strategic precision, because having these things locked in will make such a difference to not only your sales, but how you feel about your business from day to day. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back next week. We'll see you then.